amusement in Taupo. Alison, welcome. Take it as read, Councillor Kirk.
Is it quite, just as a new council, is it quite normal for like a short-term lease type thing like this that the council would just give them the short-term lease, or is it fairer to go out and ask if anyone else is interested, even if they haven't put their hand up? Or
I think it's through our busy environment-y time to have something else down there. We have had those little bungee jump ones there before off the trampoline on the other side, didn't we? To the mini putt one other time. You know, the ones on the strings, the old Muppets, yeah, on the good size. So, yeah, sorry, Councillor Kirk.
just another question, like and no disrespect to Mooney Holdings Limited either, but are they a reputable company that have operated in other areas? Have you done this attraction in other areas and without incident, or?
As far as I'm aware, yes.
Yeah, they'll be covered by the lease, I think, so keep an eye on them. But okay, if there's no other questions, there's a suggested resolution that the licence be granted to the Mooney Holdings Limited to occupy part of the Northcroft Reserve from the 19th of December 2011 to the 18th of January 2012 with a trampoline bungee. And number 2, that the officers be authorised to negotiate terms and conditions, and His Worship the Mayor and Chief Executive Officer be authorised to execute the licence and affix there to the common seal. Can I have a mover and a seconder for that? Thanks. Councillor Williams and Councillor Truman. All those in favour? Aye. Thanks, Alison. Okay, on to item 9, because we've deferred item 8. Oh, sorry, Nicola, yes.
Mr. Chair, I'm not sure about standing orders, but you've just moved a bit quickly for me.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And I just wonder if it would be possible to go back to matters arising on agenda item number 3. I didn't have it. Suddenly it was moved, and I didn't have a chance to ask the questions on the
going back in the
to the minutes of the last council meeting.
I'm sure that's okay, isn't it? And, yep.
Yeah. We'll just just on item number 9, just to find out if that tender has now been signed to us through the chair, the CEO, if the contract with regarding the water treatment plant has been signed.
So what page are you on?
Page 5, 3/5.
Sorry, what was your question again?
Whether that tender has been signed off. No.
Yes, it has. The trucks are down there on this.
All right. Great. And then item number 11, again, just to make sure that, or to check to see that just to have a report on the office extensions, a brief sort of summary of where they're at with regard to the resolution. That's on page 3/6, item number 11.
So, excuse me, on that one, the tender's been issued. The contractor, the successful builder for the alteration for the extension, has started, or about to start some work. They've been doing the preparation for that, the surveying and stuff like that. And we're currently in the stage of doing the final design of the other internal office fit out. So looking at what we will do and what we won't do.
Oh, and have you got got an estimated completion date at this stage?
It's in 2 stages. Top of my head, I think the final stage was this side of Christmas. I'm pretty sure. So,
And are the
it's pretty
staff
big.
being able to be housed, so that all satisfactory in the interim? That's all.
Absolutely.
We were sent emails last week with all the designs and that through Kelvin, I think.
Yeah, saw that. And just on item page 3/8, we made a resolution regarding the Parks Depot to be relocated to Hackling Park, just to get a progress report on where that's at now.
Still progressing.
And the final question was with regard to the Rural Design Guide project. Gareth, through the chair, when will that ad hoc committee meet? We made a resolution that we would, Councillors Hickling, Kirk, Williams and Darnard be convened to hear those submitters who asked to be heard regarding the Rural Design Guide project.
Helen, would you like to answer that?
Thank you. Actually, we've just been a little bit busy dealing with the district plan changes, and so we propose to contact all of the councillors who will be commissioners for those hearings sometime over the next 10 days to find a set of dates that will work for you all, and we'll schedule over as soon as we can find those dates.
Yeah, in relation to items 1, 2, 8 and 16, there may be others there. I just again question the record in terms of it being a full record of what happens, in that on those first 3 items I've mentioned, you'll note questions were asked by members, questions were asked of Mr. Basson, questions were asked of Ms. Lewis and Mr. Patel, but there's actually nothing about the questions that were asked or the discussion that actually happened. So as a person reading this in the community, I wouldn't get a particularly good idea of what went on or what particular views my councillors may or may not have represented. And also note in item 16, and I believe that I asked for this to be noted, but made the statement that I wish to be known that I supported the direction that the council was taking with the Southern Settlement Structure Plan changes and so forth, and to specifically thank staff for their work in this regard. I note that's not there. I believe at the time I asked it to be noted. But the bigger issue here is, as a member of the community, I would find it really difficult to get a grip reading this on what we actually discussed and what points of view councillors represented.
Through the chair, we endeavour to get the minutes as correct as we can, and my advice would be, if a councillor has those sorts of issues, let Tina know in advance of the meeting, and we might be able to do something with those minutes if it is a genuine issue, and particularly if it was specifically requested to be included in the minutes. We also have the ability to reflect back on webcam, because we have a full recording of all minute meetings on webcam that is available for any person at any time, so that can also be used by the community as a check as to what the level of discussion was. The minutes are always a balance between, as you say, providing a true and reflective record of the meeting, but not necessarily going into too much detail so that the minutes become too long and laborious for anybody to read. So it's trying to strike that balance, and the staff have endeavoured to strike that balance. However, blessed with the recordings that we do have on webcam, that's the ability to change those minutes to reflect true events is very straightforward.
I'll just respond to that by saying I've been pursuing this issue both in council meetings and behind the scenes with staff and with the CEO as well over a period of nearly a year now, and my concern is not so much necessarily with the detail of what's recorded, but is the consistency and the fact that there doesn't appear to be much of that. Because if you take the Turangi-Tongariro Community Board minutes, although the latest copy is not necessarily a good reflection of that because it's quite brief, there's a great difference between how particularly members' involvement in this meeting is recorded versus how members' involvement in council meetings are recorded. So all I would ask for is that some protocols be developed and some consistency given to that, such that the community can pick these up without having to refer to the webcam recording of the meeting, and figure out what points of view the councillors are representing. Because all of these issues, there was major discussion around and quite a lot of different views from different people expressed.
Councillor Williams.
I'd like to acknowledge CEO Rob's comments regarding the minutes, but I do think I back Councillor Henderson 100% on item number 8 of that agenda, because there was some fairly salient points raised, and I don't think they're reflected in these minutes. So I think maybe we could. It's probably too late now to make the change, but in future, I guess we can have the opportunity to.
I think the point's taken. I mean, sometimes discussions on items do go on, and it's finding that balance on what's the critical information and what's not, and not putting you under any pressure, Christine. You're already under enough pressure being new in here and at a first council meeting taking minutes, but we'll endeavour to try and put in those important bits of information in there.
And the second question was just through the chair to CEO Rob, just wondered if you were in the position to report back on the LGFA to us.
Is this the bill with regards to the progress of the bill?
Yeah. Well, really,
I don't think the bill's actually progressed any further. I know that it's due to be introduced, but Alan perhaps may know.
Oh, sorry, it was with regard to our final proposal, not the bill, and participation.
Through the chair, we are still awaiting the final wordings. Part of that is the outcome of the bill that is accepted by the House, but until we actually can read the fine print, we will be not committing ourselves 100%. As per that resolution, we left ourselves the option to not sign on the dotted line if the final wording did not suit Council.
Okay, any other matters out of item number 3? If not, we'll go to back. Yep, sorry, Councillor Williams.
Just one on the Cycling Centre of Excellence. I just wonder if Keith could give a very quick synopsis of where we're at, or is that another
Councillor Williams, I was going to do that members' reports later on in the agenda, if that's okay.
Yep, fine. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to item number 9, and this is the draft LTP 2012 policy to determine significance. Welcome, Ariel. Would like to speak on this?
We had an overview of the significance policy at our workshop, not last week but the week before, and this item is really just bringing the significance policy in its revised form to councillors to adopt to go out with a draft long-term plan. There were 2 changes that we've suggested, and they're very minor, and they just relate to changing some of the wording in the strategic assets part of the policy in terms of the outcomes and future wellbeings, and then we've also deleted a requirement from the policy because that requirement was also reflected as one of the performance measures within the draft long-term plan itself, so it was essentially just a double up, so we've removed it from the policy. The other thing that we've done is just change some of the formatting, but other than that the policy stands as it is.
Thanks, Ariel. Any questions for Ariel? Just one of those things that we do the long-term plan, isn't it?
That's right.
So the suggested resolution is that the policy to determine significance as attached to the officer's report on the 27th of September 2011 be adopted and included in the draft long-term plan 2012 consultation. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Thank you. Councillor Williams and Councillor Minshall, all those in favour? Aye. Passed. Okay, on to item number 10.